if you want to make money as a poet, but you're not sure how, I'm going to walk you through 10 income streams for poetry that you can actually start to implement today. As soon as you finish this video, maybe while you're watching this video. We are here at Arts and Offers. This is the video podcast that talks about that connection between poetry, art, and business. And to guide you in this process today, there is me. What's up, guys? My name is Jeff with an O. I'm a full poet. I'm going to be talking about 10 different income streams. These are ones that I've had direct experience with, all the ones I've used. And so if you think of other ones that I don't cover, be sure to put them in the comments because there's other people looking for this as a resource and you might be able to help them too. Every stream I'm going to be talking about is going to be based off of the poetry that you create. So that way you can continue using your art and having it fulfill you creatively, but also financially. And I'm going to kind of group things by not necessarily order of difficulty, but what I believe to be real income potential from each of them as well. And it starts off just with getting work published. Work published can be poems, chapbooks, things like that. And I think a lot of times poets often put publishing on like the pedestal as like, hey, this is the real goal. But the reality is that publishing is kind of step one. There's a lot of things that you can do once you actually have the work out. And we'll be talking more about that in the future. But to just give a real quick example. So for instance, we just launched, I just finished writing and releasing this workbook, which is all about strategies for creating your first poetry business or your first art business. And it's just exercise and things like that. But I can't start doing the exercise with people until I get the workbook out. And it's the same thing with whatever sort of book that you create. You need to put the book out and then you can give, for instance, like talks on the book, workshops on the book, workshops and exercises you use in the book, whatever the strategy may be. But the book is kind of the baseline. It's the foundation. So it starts off again, publishing individual pieces. The next step above that would be publishing books or larger collections of work. Because, hey, you can get paid for individual poems, but you can also get paid for those books. And you can get them into bookshops and bookstores and things like that. From there, maybe you have a platform. So, for instance, maybe you have a YouTube channel, or maybe you have a profile on Instagram, a platform, or even like Pinterest and things. These are platforms where you can actually get paid for putting things out. Now, you're not going to be paid immediately. You do have to build your following. I can speak to my own communication channels. I would say between the two of them, I'm earning enough to pay groceries for a couple weeks, which is nice, but it's not necessarily game-changing income right now. You can certainly find creators out there who are earning much, much, much more through ad revenue, but for most people who are, especially in the first year, 2 years, 3 years that you do it, you can probably expect that ad revenue to not be super significant. One income source I did not put on this list, but that you can also consider with socials is that depending on how you do it, you can target, for instance, like brand deals, working with larger corporations. You can also do a concept called affiliate marketing. Those aren't two concepts I'm going to go deep into information on because honestly, I don't do a lot of either of those. But if you're interested in those resources, those can be things to do more research and look up. Going back to things that I do have more information on, things I've experienced, and that I think can start earning you more income than, for instance, those books, would be workshops. So taking concepts that you've learned and then teaching other people. And by the way, a lot of times I think we wait for invitations to give workshops, but the reality is that you could create your own. Let people know in your circle, hey, I'm thinking about doing this talk on, maybe did a book of poetry on like persona poems. Just like, hey, I'm going to lead a persona poem workshop for like an hour. You can meet me at the library, $10 a seat. You can charge way more now. You can do $100 a seat. If it's really valuable for them, you can do $1,000. Whatever your price you think is comfortable, that is something that you can certainly do, leading some workshops. Someone who we've worked with a lot in the Poet Business Institute, for instance, decided, hey, I'm really interested in ekphrasis, so I'm going to do a workshop with ekphrastic writing. And so she reached out to the poetry organization here in Ohio, and she talked to a couple people, and now she's doing a series of virtual workshops and an in-person workshop soon too. So a lot of times you don't have to wait for permission to create your workshop. It's just putting the idea out, ask some people if they're interested in joining it or collaborating with you, and go. Besides workshops, another avenue you could pursue would be featuring. If you're able to feature at a different poetry show, different poetry reading, they're usually going to pay your feature. Now, again, if you, especially for lower level features, you can't expect the payment to be excessive. But hey, it's can be a nice little side income to have. The other thing about this too is this it's oftentimes less predictable because you're kind of people solicit you. People have to find you, people have to reach out to you. You could certainly send invitations out or send letters out to people, message people, email, DM people to say, hey, I'm available for features and things like that. But very often, a lot of organizations don't like that for poetry features. They much prefer to reach out to you directly without you soliciting them. Similar to that would also be talks. So if you're invited not just to, feature to read poems or to lead a workshop, but to lead a talk, for instance, at a conference, that can be another avenue of getting paid. Even if the opportunity is free, there are plenty of free conferences out there and free opportunities to talk as well. It may be worth it, especially if you're able to produce the talk. So, for instance, have a camera set up, give yourself a decent microphone, because then that's something that you could put onto your portfolio, you could put onto your website, put onto your socials. So then people see that, oh, you do this sort of work, or oh, you have this sort of talk. It becomes your social proof, something you can also put on the resume so people can track and see what you're doing. I would say the last thing for this category of income streams for poets, that way you can live on poetry, make money from poetry or any sort of art form, is organizing or being part of retreats. So, for instance, the Verses, we've had 7 different retreats over the years. And this is a way for you to, one, it could be an opportunity for you to share your own expertise in an extended period of time. Or something we've also done with our retreats is we bring on additional facilitators. So we don't necessarily lead all the retreats we do. We bring on people to conduct those workshops. So this could be a way for you to collaborate with your friends or collaborate with poets that you know who are qualified and allowing them to get paid themselves, but then you also can get paid as the organizer for the retreat while also making sure that poets are leaving it with an experience that's valuable for them. Poets who've gone through our retreats are poets who've put out collections of books, they've won prizes, they've won awards, so it's a way for everyone to win. Now, one of the disadvantages of a lot of these strategies I just mentioned in that last group was once they're finished, they're kind of done. You can produce it, you can record it, but in general, people are going for the specific event, and when the event finishes, they're moving back onto their own lives, right? So these next 3 strategies, in my mind, I put at the top because I think they have the greatest potential for longevity and sustainable growth for you, and also just a reliable source of income. The first one is having some sort of course program. So creating video courses on a topic. You can then, for instance, host them on a website. And then suddenly you can do kind of like a masterclass model or like a TED model or something like that, where you have a group of videos that people can watch. You could even create like a little forum or academy around them so people can watch the videos, interact with them, do the exercises together. It can be as big or as small as you want, but video courses could be a strategy that helps you create a sustainable level of income and also help position you as an authority in the field so people turn to you for a specific set of information. A separate but related aspect of that too is if you decide to maybe make your own little writing academy, poetry academy, art academy, you can also pay other people to create things for you. So that way you can demonstrate, hey, look, we also have this name that also is teaching things, or we also have this workshop that you didn't necessarily create yourself, but you can include in your offerings. But another thing too is that you could provide that service for other people. What if you help other poets or other writers create their own academies? What if you help them create their own videos? That's something, for instance, that we do here at the Verses is just with all of our equipment. We have our microphones. We have a literal poetry venue. There's no other poetry venue in the city. Most of these don't have a poetry venue, right? But this is a place where we can actually do recordings at a professional level. I'm familiar with video editing just from all the channels that I have. And so that is another service. So instead of having everything necessarily focused around your poetry and your art, maybe there's a way you can link your poetry and art with other people's, or you can help grow their art, and maybe in a way that can offer back to you. So I think production services, editing services are another business model, income stream that you can turn to. Help other poets to poet. And in fact, that leads to the final income stream, I would say, which is services. Services can be teaching. Services can be group coaching. Services could be editing. Services can, especially like if you have like a subscription model. So that's something that Diverses uses a lot and my communication uses a lot is, we have regular group coaching that people can sign up for. You sign up for it a month. You can come to the courses that we have during a set schedule and things. And this can be a way for you to create a recurring and predictable set of income because you know that, hey, if 5 people sign up at this rate that I charged, well, that's something that if I can make sure that they're getting the experience they're looking for and getting what they need, then hey, that might be something that can help create some income for you on the side, or maybe even become a full-time thing. A majority of my teaching now is through a subscription-based coaching model for group coaching. But it doesn't just have to be that. For instance, one thing you want to consider if you're liking that avenue is you can try to create something that links poetry with another passion that you have. For instance, for my coaching program for communication, we're pulling poetry as our model material. We use poems as our base material for a lot of exercises related to pronunciation and communication. It allows me to look up poems, find poems, explore poems in new ways for, I would say, a solid 30 to 40% of the classes that I teach. You don't have to do that yourself, but the principle, the idea of, okay, I'm going to use poetry and this other interest I have, I'm going to blend them together and offer that to the world because that new connection you have, poetry and, is probably also your uniqueness. No one else is probably offering that. I'm doing poetry communication. You could do poetry and mental health. You could do poetry and after school programming. You could do poetry and carpentry. You could do poetry and fitness. Find a way to make it work. Whatever those passions are, it's a way for you to combine everything into a single sphere. If you like these idea of income streams, or maybe you want to kind of work together to create your own poetry business, if you like that idea of services that I offered at the end, I do want to mention that our workbook this semester is now available. And in fact, we have a cohort where people work together to try to create your own poetry offer. So if you want to start living on poetry, because I think it's possible for you, check out our cohort program at diversipoetry.com/institute.